But anyway, what do you go for it?
So, of course, you guys all remember the Me Too movement a couple years ago. And anyone who did anything like remotely inappropriate with like gender relations or sex or whatever got a lot of attention for it. We're in a similar environment now for race relations. Clemson coach Dabo Sweeney defended his response to an assistant coach's use of a racial slur. Now, here's what happened. It's in a practice, and I don't know my football very well, but whatever. A tight end was blocking someone, and the coach was yelling at him. Now, I guess yelling at a player and a coach, this happens in college football all the time. And the player yelled back, and for the purposes of this, we're going to say brother, but you guys can work with me on this. And the player goes, all right, I blocked the wrong fucking brother. And the coach goes, damn right you blocked the wrong fucking brother. And now they're after him for his racist end slur. What do you guys think?
I think that Dabo Sweeney has won a national championship or two, and that program was nothing when he came aboard. So
this is the assistant coach saying that, but I'm still listening.
I'm sure he's been part of the team, and Dabo's supporting him. So, and I'm not even a Clemson fan, but I'm from the area, so I had to listen to that fucking sports radio bullshit nonstop. How good they were and how good Dabo was as a coach. Look at that. That's nonsense to call that guy on that. That's not racism. That's some racially charged language in the heat of a moment on a sports field. They say all kinds of awful things. Little League was rougher than that.
Kyle's saying it's okay as long as you're quoting someone.
What kind of racist is going to pick a career?
Depends on the audience.
Yeah, I guess it does. You're right. Taylor,
if you say it to the one you're quoting, it's a little different.
Okay, I got a lot on this one. Okay.
How?
Right off the bat, I'm a huge adopter of you just can't use the word. We just don't get it. And in this case,
but what if it's
he has a relationship with this player, and this player has a relationship with him. And reading the player's quote, this is one of those things where like it didn't sound like it was abusive, but I don't get to make the call because I'm a white guy. But hearing the teammate talk about it,
you're Jewish. You got some points.
Yeah, a couple. Not really. More like I mean, at the end of the day, like the player's cool that he said it. He said, yeah, he said it back to me. He wasn't using it in a tone or anything like that. So I feel like it's like that's an apologize and let's move on. No one needs to get canceled.
Yeah, the player is defending the coach, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like some third party that's
it's
upset.
Like imagine your teammates or whatever it is. You might get in a moment and you might get caught up and say some shit that like if someone heard it
is causing a problem where
otherwise exactly.
What? You mean the media are turning their focus on something that's actually pretty rare and making it into a thing? That's surprising. They don't do that fucking every day, all the time, creating divisiveness in our society. Christ. Yep.
Yeah. I think the ideal way to handle it. Can you say that again, Taylor? They can't hear you when I talk over you.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah. My initial point was, why would a racist choose a career that puts them around lots of other races? Why would they do that? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't pan out. It seems to me more like a football coach that was frustrated by something that was happening in practice. Isn't that the Occam's razor, the most obvious thing that happened, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. I have learned just use it 0% of the time, right? 0% of the time. You might think you're safe because you clearly don't have a history of being racist and you're quoting someone else, but it turns out that's a bad call. So ideally, this coach says, damn right, you blocked the wrong guy, and just paraphrased a touch. But he didn't. And I think that it's okay to consider the context and the intent to some extent.
Take a second and step back from this. A comment made by a coach to a player on his team that nobody has a problem with. This is on the news. And
Taylor,
people will act like the media doesn't.
It happened in 2016 too.
17, but yeah.
2017 also, like on top of it all.
When it's nice and opportunistic, when it's a nice time for you to get your clicks, for you to get your views.
Yeah.
Fuck the mainstream media. Honestly, fuck them. They do nothing but create division between people in our own nation. They capitalize on things that aren't even common like this and cause problems where none would need exist. The person who's apparently victimized doesn't have a problem with it, and the person who's clearly isn't racist. Are you fucking shitting me? We all
moved on.
It's fucking bullshit.
I feel like there's a parallel to Me Too, right? Like some of the Me Too guys, Weinstein, Cosby, etc., deserved everything they got. Some of them were kind of wrapped up in like, that's just a bad date, you know, like not
he's on Sorry, right?
That's the one. It was in my head. Yeah,
I remember that. But then it sucks because then something like that, like if I'm about the message right now, which I am, and I mean, like if I'm out there putting myself in danger with the police and stuff in the USA, and then the news is releasing old stories like that, it's like, no. You're fucking up the information now because you're releasing dumb nonsense like that, and we need current shit. We don't need to bring back cancel culture right now, you know?
You cannot watch the mainstream media for any source of useful information. You really can't. They clearly decide what stories are going to be big, they make it big, and then that becomes the story instead of covering what's actually happening. They do this fucking shit all the time. It doesn't matter if you're a CNN guy, a Fox guy, a fucking Salon.
Can I jump in? I have a really hard time finding good information, and I do make a sincere effort. You also can't just go by like the Twitters and the YouTubes or like the brick thing, right? There's brick showing up at all these riots. Every time they look into it, it gets debunked. You know, they said the Dallas Police Department put bricks there to like prompt people to behave in such a way that they could go hard. Then they show up on Google, like these things have been on in that spot 3 months ago. The satellite took a picture of those bricks. And just 1 second, I think San Francisco it got debunked, LA it got debunked, somewhere else, like everywhere they've looked into it, they were like they explained the construction site that these bricks belong to.
Who said? Was it like George Soros put bricks in different towns and shit?
It was a fact checking site. I could look up which ones.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but I'm sure it was nonsense.
I saw this the other day.
Hey, how about you don't worry about who put the bricks there? How about we look at who's fucking throwing bricks? How about that? How about we look at that?
Here's